You know when you're reading a review on a Disney movie for kids and it gets incredibly inappropriate and sexual? Right, because that shouldn't happen, but movie critic Eric Henderson made it happen, and we are not thankful for it. The Little Mermaid was created out of sheer desperation. Desperation for what? I need a story about mermaids. They're like, we need a movie. Okay, dogs. Let's do a movie with dogs. We've done Lady and the Tramp. How about a lot of dogs? 101 Dalmatians. All right, what about dogs and cats? Aristocats. Mermaids? We haven't done mermaids. The entire 1980s passed them by without even a minor hit. A radically missed opportunity given the era's optimism. As cheery and false as Mickey Mouse. You just hate Disney already. And given that Don Bluth's hit knockoff of the Disney formula An American Tail registered as some crazy neo-socialist rodent version of Upton Sinclair's The Jungle with Italian-American cats standing in for slaughterhouse managers. All right, we can't go historical or political, so let's go with a pretty girl with shell boobs and a tail that wants feet. The result wasn't slim, but malnourished. Apparently Ariel needs to eat more kelp. It wasn't quirky, but calculated. Can't you be quirky and calculated? Einstein, Exhibit A. It didn't touch the heart, it raped it. For some reason that just made me think of like a douchebag's band name. Yeah, I'm in a band. We're called Heart Rape. Mostly harder stuff. But we do some ballads. Most of our fans like the harder stuff. And Jaeger. Every second string in-joke from the more rambunctious members of Disney's stable of animators which made so many previous dubious Disney features bearable, Cruella de Vil's yin-yang hair, Fantasia's demure hippo ballerinas, even the Aristocats swinging discotheque interlude.
You're a swinging cat, and that's a fact. You're a cool cat, aristocrat.
Had been fuzzily eradicated from the palette. Well, maybe that's not completely true, but we'll get to Ursula in a moment. You wait. You wait. We'll get to you in a moment. You wait. The Little Mermaid is the story of one pack rat pre-tween. Pre-tween? Yeah. Never really pictured her as 9 or 10. Neither did the prince. Quite a shock for him. Pre-tween princess whose undersea kingdom is only matched in depth by her remarkable sense of consumer-minded entitlement. She just wanted to be where the people are. Wanted to see them dancing. And your reviews started to sound like you're a guy at Starbucks who's never gonna finish his script. She keeps artifacts of human pop culture, like forks. Stupid to be like pop. She didn't have fucking Tamagotchi, she had forks. It's not like she's like, look, a Furby, a pet rock. I'm in condition of Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. Mark my words, everyone who saw the film in theaters when they were young and really took Ariel's plight to heart later decorated their Sweet 16 wheels with a bumper sticker reading, I wish I could be like Barbie, that bitch got everything. Yeah, cause all Ariel had was a fork. In a cavernous underwater sarcophagus that in essence stands in for what's truly missing in her life. She has everything except legs. More to the point, she has everything but what's between those legs. Dear Lord. She said walking around on, what do you call those again? Feet. Hanging around with my, what's that called again? Vagina. It's so stupid. It's stupid. Up where they walk, up where they run. In my vagina they will all come. And her hoarding materialism resonates as Disney's prepubescent form of masturbation. Never masturbate with a fork. Fork jokes continue. We did waffle jokes, now we're doing fork jokes. Fork! Now we know what makes those Happy Meals so, happy. Forks! Which makes it all the more deviously satisfying is that Ariel comes into her own with the help of a bloated, androgynous octopussy. As voiced by Pat Carroll, and as drawn by a team of gay, chubby chasers, Ursula is queer corpulence personified. For some reason, I'm picturing just like this group of animators who never get to draw anything. And then they're like, wait, we have an androgynous lady thing who's also an octopus. Get me the gay chubby chasers. They all come filing up. Finally, we get to draw something. Finally. You're an idiot, and this is disappointing that you're even saying stupid crap like this. Her Majesty's lip-pursing, tentacle-caressing, boob-shaking antics caught the attention of others, though, and soon the moral majority. Fresh off their close scrutiny of Jessica Rabbit's twat on Laserdisc. Dear Lord. The between the legs thing freaked me out. Then the boob caressing, I was like, okay, he's pulling it back. And then bam, right to Jessica Rabbit, shwa shwa, and what is wrong with you? How do you get paid? Do you get paid? This is your, no. You talked about Jessica Rabbit's twat, we're done. You guys probably love Beauty and the Beast. Well, here's a bunch of people who hated it. I love it. Not interested. There's a person who's torn.
However, at its core, this is a movie about a woman who has sexual feelings for an animal. In other words, a movie that promotes bestiality. Except it was a curse on a person that got turned into a person before they did anything, and it's a cartoon. Wait, what bathroom can the Beast use?
You know what? I would love it if he wasn't rich at all. Then it would be a great movie. It's like Friends and all of them having apartments that huge in New York. That's a bunch of crap, but it's still a good show.
Bullshit. A hot chick and an Ugg only get together because he becomes a prince. How typical, skank. Your profile picture says you didn't do this ironically. He looks like he wanted to steal a Harley, but couldn't afford to.
If it's not in English, I don't want to see it. Hello? English is the operative language here. Put it in frickin' English. That's all I speak. First of all, no need to yell. Second of all, that's a ridiculous thing to say because other people make movies. And third of all, it wasn't in English? Let's see. Tale as old as time. No, that's English.
It's sexist and demands that society stereotype both genders, apparently to bring back memories of the age of scientific eugenics. But it's quite entertaining. Scientific eugenics. Isle of Dr. Moreau meets the Isle of Dr. Moreau.
Oh joy, more Disney. You don't have to see it. It's not like there's someone like shoving Disney videotapes down your throat. It's also not like there's Disney videotapes anymore.
How can this movie's plot be sane? The prince was punished to be a beast and saved in certain conditions no later than his 21st birthday. That plot isn't sane. It's not a sane plot. It never claimed to be a sane plot.
There's a song from Kingdom Hearts 2 which I really like. I wonder if it's in this movie. First of all, there's a good chance. I really don't understand taking the time to write that. Go find out. Just watch the movie. I think you weren't looking for Rotten Tomatoes and you were looking for Yahoo Answers. And based on your incorrect internet decisions, I suggest you Bing it.
Never seen this Disney film before, and thank God. Just days after watching Big Hero 6, the castle the Walt built has come a long way in 23 years. The animation was really poor in places. The songs, I'm not even going there. And the general plot has been stolen from every pre-dating Disney film ever. Really, really poor. Move over, Bollywood, as this is probably the worst film on the list so far. Just scoot on aside. Genre that doesn't exist in Disney. You know, I'm glad I didn't buy that Ford Escort in '93. Because now that I'm looking at it 20 years later, it doesn't compare to the Toyota Celica.
I remember Disney cartoons as being reasonably good. Whoa, apparently I have to read this with an accent. I remember Disney cartoons as being reasonably good part of childhood. Either that memory is wrong, judgment back then was wrong, or this film is wrong. Do you do this with all of your memories? Are you like, oh, I remember going to the theme park when I was a kid and having fun, but maybe I remembered it wrong. Or maybe at the time I was stupid. Or maybe the theme park is stupid.
Belle, I have an idea. Why don't I go with you to rescue your father? Then he can come live at the castle with us. Silly beast, that would absolutely ruin the Stockholm Syndrome story we have going on. Of course, Belle. How ridiculous of me. Who are you talking to? Sorry, it's really hard for us to think perfectly straight with all these damn dancing plates everywhere.
I love this movie, but now that I look at it, it was pretty stupid. Once again, thanks for yelling. Oh man, that sounds like relationship hindsight right there. So who broke up with who?
Frozen ripped off this movie, and this movie wasn't good in the first place. Belle had superpowers? And a sister? And there were trolls in it? I guess it was winter.
I'd fuck Belle. The teapot can come too. Pretty sure you've never made anything come. I'm done.
The plot is nonsensical, and the only character I liked was Gaston, and that does not say a lot in itself, as he was set up to be the unlikable asshole from the start. I just like that he liked the bro in it. Vin Diesel came along and he was saved.
Disney! Blah. I can't stand half the stuff produced by these people. You mean these people? It's always the same principle in a different guise. Nice for the kids, but not for me. How strange for Disney to make movies for children.
Plain awful and annoying. Like your cat.
Badly animated. The main character is practically moron. Yes, she does read books, but that doesn't make one clever. Not wandering into a forest filled with wolves alone at night in winter might help, and more misogynistic than the Twilight Saga. You can't mean to say practically a moron, but say practically moron to insult someone else.
1%. That doesn't need anything else.
Chris, this might be the most adult review of a kid's movie I have ever seen. Watch your mouth, bro. You're not reviewing Deadpool. Does their new film Moana serve as another notch on their proud belt? I don't write 1,200 words per review to give you a yay or nay. You're reading. I don't even understand what that means. Just no conclusion. It's like reading a book, but the last few pages are missing. So you have to solve this annoying Da Vinci Code-esque thing just to figure out what the stupid book was about. That's what your review is gonna be? You've forgotten the power of the internet and editing. Moana's journey takes her to find Maui and force him to make things right, even though he's kind of a dick. If he wasn't kind of a dick, he wouldn't have to make things right. He would have already done it right, because he wouldn't have been a dick. And then we wouldn't have had a movie, and then you wouldn't be writing this, and then I wouldn't have to figure out what your 1,200 words mean. Moana becomes a message of self-discovery. Bonus points were awarded to her character for not having dead parents. You win! Congratulations! Your parents are alive. Score 1 for Moana, 0 for every Disney princess, and Batman, and Superman, and most strippers. Best of all, the events of the film are driven by Moana's actions and ends up saving on numerous occasions the big muscular hero. Do you hear that, Rock? I'm the motherfucking shit. That should have been one of the songs. Look at me, Maui, I saved your life. I'm the motherfucker. And what better actor to portray a large, bulging hero than The Rock? Oh, and he's got his own little sidekick in the form of a 2D tattoo that f***s with him constantly. So it's no different than when The Rock makes a movie with Kevin Hart. Next! I also shouldn't be praising Disney anymore for the quality of their animation. The sky is blue, dogs bark, Marlon Wayans sucks, and the Walt Disney produces gorgeous visuals. Because, my god, this movie is f***ing beautiful. Marlon Wayans sucks, that's so mean. I like how you're like, I shouldn't be praising Disney for their animation, but I'm gonna praise Disney for their animation. I shouldn't try crack for the first time, but I also really like Whitney Houston. Everything from character designs to the environments and the motion of the ocean, that's what she said. There's a lot of cursing and sexual innuendo in this review of a Disney movie. It's like you were getting fired by Disney and decided to like put penises in the panels. Penises in the panels. When you get right down to it, this movie feels like sea voyage between Belle from Beauty and the Beast and Genie from Aladdin. Except Genie wasn't kind of a dick, and Moana didn't end up with Stockholm Syndrome and fall in love with Maui. Spoilers. Here's a bunch of people who hated The Lion King. Overrated sentimental dribble. The characters are all supremely unlikable. Simba is an entitled f***wit with no regard for anyone but himself. Timon and Pumbaa are supposed to be good guys, yet their whole deal, their mantra behind the film's most successful song is basically F it, F responsibility. Hakuna ma F it.
Possibly the most overrated movie ever. Seriously, guys, it's not good. Not like Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. You're in the most overrated band in your head.
Unoriginal ripoff in true homogenized Disney fashion. It ripped off Hamlet. Pretty much 99% of what Shakespeare wrote was something unoriginal written in an original way. You know, like in Disney fashion.
I didn't kill no motherfucking lion. Ray Lewis.
You can't hate a film for being annoying, can you? Yeah.
Nor the most original nor very emotionally engaging animated work from Pixar even as a kid. I found very little to love about this film. This isn't a Pixar movie.
Good story, but very similar to a Japanese comic / anime. I doubt its originality. What anime? If The Lion King was actually an anime, it would have taken like 100 episodes before Mufasa finally died.
Thinly veiled Jesus propaganda. Anima Patre Spiritu Sancti Mufasa. Otherwise, just another banal Disney animated musical. I'm so thankful that Pixar and DreamWorks came along so that adults have an edgy alternative to this trite, formulaic Disney drivel. Edgy alternative? Yeah, that's the first thing I think of when I think of DreamWorks and Pixar.
I'm probably the only person who doesn't like this that much, so my opinion is meaningless here. Why'd you write that? You'd suck in a focus group. Also, your opinion might be meaningless because your name's Harry D.
Cheesy story having me believe Mufasa is not a dictator who eats his subjects. Cheesy story have me believe Mufasa not dictator who eats subjects.
I wasn't that good. Sure, it had its... Oh, you meant it wasn't that good. Oh. The movie was great, but I sucked at watching it. Apparently, movie critic Ed Johnson Ott needs movies to stay alive, and Beauty and the Beast did not satisfy him enough. The original version is more fun. The original version has more heart. The original version is snappier. Snappy. I don't even know what you mean by that. That's one snappy movie. And the new version is unnecessary, much like the old version, because movies are really unnecessary. One day, one of you critics will figure that out and stop saying movies are necessary. I need it to live. What about this water and food? Movies. Movies are how I survive. The sumptuous Beauty 17 hits the at least good mark. I'm glad you clarified that you were talking about the movie and not Emma Watson when you said sumptuous. That's what stopped me there for a second. The sumptuous Beauty. So how do you get your leading lady to fall in love with her captor without sending a disturbing message to young viewers? In a very similar way to the original that you're praising? In this version, Belle and the Beast bond gradually through books. Well, there's a good way. Some of the best scenes in the movie involve them discussing books. Although I kind of agree, that's a weird takeaway from this movie. Dude, remember that scene when they were talking about a book? So good. Sumptuous. He's holding her captive, mind you, but we get to watch the relationship evolve into something less Stockholm syndrome-y. Is it syndrome-y? 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 It's basically an X-Men character. Speaking of messages, much has been made of a brief scene Bill Condon describes as a gay moment. LaFoe is the comic relief assistant to Gaston, a village creep who wants to nail Belle. Maybe refrain from using, phrases like nailing someone in a Disney review. This whole paragraph is leading up to something wrong. Wrong and awful. And I can't wait. LaFoe accidentally ends up dancing with another guy for a second. LaFoe looks startled, but not unhappy. End of scene. Thus endeth the great gay moment in Beauty 17. Two men dancing in a movie started the great gay moment of 2017, almost causing a civil war in the United States, with Alabama trying to boycott the movie. Of course, that's only one state versus 49. I think they'd lose. Just like like every time. Alabama, a great place to visit if you're driving through to get to Florida. The only thing I found disturbing was that LeFou is portrayed sympathetically even after he helps Gaston tie up Belle's father and leave him in the forest. Back in the village, LeFou suggests that it might be better to not let the man die, but when Gaston waves him off, LeFou drops the subject. Creepy. No, scared. He was scared. Wouldn't you be scared of a soldier who was back from war and was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and was willing to kill someone's father just so that they can get married to the girl that he barely knows, just thinks is hot and wants to nail? Oh, I did it. I said nail. Wondering why I'm talking about trivialities involving secondary characters? Yes, we all are. Go on. You excite me. I can't wait to hear what you're gonna say. I can't wait. It's because the movie didn't grab you, because it's inanimate. I admired the craft, certainly, and I grew to care about the fates of Belle and the Beast, but the movie failed to sweep me away. So the movie doesn't sweep you away, so you dive deeper into the movie to talk about trivial nonsense that no one really cares about? That makes sense. Taking the talking candelabra, harpsichord, mantel clock, and teapot and rendering them as realistically as CGI allows has disappointing results. Because inanimate objects given personalities is a notion that works in our imagination and in cartoons. Cartoons, darn it, not mostly live action. Unless you have an imagination. Then it's amazing what can happen. My, what a grumpy review. Now you're reviewing your own review. That's my freaking job, bastard. That's what happens when you stay up into the wee hours watching a movie that reminds you that its mostly live action remake is clunky, not magical enough, and unnecessary. There's that unnecessary thing again. It's clunky, it's not snappy, and it's unnecessary. Ladies and gentlemen, Beauty and the Beast. The new Beauty and the Beast is harmless and watchable. It has some good moments, and it's unnecessary. I am going to find you and make it so that you can forget that word forever. I'm gonna do the whole Dumbledore take it out of your head with a frickin' wand thing so that you never use that word again. It's a movie! Pete's Dragon just got remade, and the movie isn't even a classic. Why would you remake it? Or at least that's what Michael Smith thinks. Here's Michael's actual review. Sweet, boring. Sweet, boring. Are you looking for a man who's concerned with your needs? And isn't that interesting? Now that Disney is moving full bore into rebooting, reimagining, re-whatevering its non-classic films, perhaps we can look forward to further cheese like The Apple Dumpling Gang or Flubber. They already remade Flubber. You had me at the Apple Dumpling Gang, you lost me at the your point is stupid now because you didn't realize that they remade Flubber with Robin Williams. Or The Boatniks. Okay, fine, that one. Maybe a remake of The Haunted Mansion if Disney, which is not synonymous with classic in all cases, really wants to punish us. Haunted Mansion was recent. Pete's Dragon came out in 1977. Haunted Mansion came out when? It had Eddie Murphy in it when he wasn't relevant. That means it was recent. Boy raised like Tarzan / Mowgli grows up in woods with a dragon. Regular people discover him and the dragon. Boy and dragon and their way of life are threatened. There's not much of a story. No, that's the story. You could do that with any movie. Memento. He forgets what he does every day. Finding Dory. She forgets what she does every day. Boogie Nights. He forgets who he does every day. Suicide Squad. They forget to put the scenes we wanted in the movie.
Every day.
Every day. It should work for this 5-year-old set for which it's intended, but siblings aged 10 and older will be restless or napping. They either can't sleep or they automatically sleep. One of the two. That pretty much covers it all, doesn't it? I also love that you're like, the people for which this movie is intended will love it, but other people won't. Good! It's a dragon with facial expressions that are human-like, conveying emotions like happiness, sadness, fear, anger, and wonder. You know, like Disney often does. It's a Disney movie. You're mad that there were emotions on a dragon. A dragon. The only way to be mad about that is if dragons were real. Facial expressions are big in Pete's Dragon, like the way the park ranger looks with wonder, like the looks of disappointment she gives loggers, like the long, mushy looks she gives her fiance and his young daughter, like the looks of anger she displays towards the men. It's people looking at things. You know, facial expressions played a real major part in people's faces. How you can have a movie without facial expressions? There's only one Kristen Stewart. You just get Kristen Stewart and Hayden Christensen to star as every character, and then you'll have no facial expressions. And they're hunting Slender Man. Pete's Dragon is sweet but toothless. Is that the last thing in the review? That's the end? He has his phone number? Is that his phone number? Link in the description. So you guys tell us in the comments what movie we should do next. Till we see you next time, geek out and game on.